is good people? You are now listening to another episode of At the Plate with Danny Foxworth. I am your humble narrator, Danny Foxworth. And once again, we're joined by an extremely special guest. He's a friend of the podcast. He's been on here once before. Diehard Cincinnati Reds fan. We're going to talk some more Reds stuff for the upcoming season. Ladies and gentlemen, my dog JBraze is in the building. JBraze, what's good, bro?
Not much, man. How you doing today?
Doing great, man. Doing great. Great to have you back on, man. Get baseball season starting and, picking this pod back up. And I figure who better to get out the bullpen than my guy, JBraze.
I appreciate that, man. I'm super excited for this year. It should be a good one for the Reds, I'm hoping.
Yes, sir. So Cincinnati Reds, they were 78 and 85 last year. Actually, on the the MLB preview episode of At the Plate last year, if I'm not mistaken, I picked the Reds to win the NL Central. But things happen. Some familiar faces are no longer with the team. Jonathan India, he's gone to the Royals. Then y'all turn around and pick up Gavin Lux from the Dodgers. Then y'all get a new manager with Terry Francona. So first and foremost, you being a Reds fan, what were some of the high and low moments of the Reds organization this past season?
Well, honestly, the low points. I'm gonna start with the low ones, and then we'll go to the high points. The few that there were. Low points was mostly injuries. We had so many injuries to our young guys, which in turn made the front office. So if you're new to a Cincinnati, the front office doesn't like to spend a lot of money. They're very low budget. Try to keep it on the low and all that stuff. So once a bunch of our younger major league talent got injured, all they did was bring up the guys from AAA, AA. They didn't restock the major league talent. So it was a rough season from that aspect. And then David Bell, our old manager, he was let go at the end of the season, and I've got a couple thoughts about that. He wasn't given. I don't think he was given the best opportunities for that simple fact that I was talking about earlier, that the front office doesn't like bringing in more talent if people get hurt and things like that. But also, it was time for him to go. He's been there for a few years, and I feel like a lot of the talent was just kind of even. There was no one really got better. No one advanced. Even Ellie, amazing talent. He kind of just stayed the same all season last year. There wasn't a lot of progress in a lot of people's game. So that's really the low points. It's just the major league talent wasn't there, and also the manager wasn't good enough to bring the talent and make guys better and make the team better at that point.
I hear you.
But as far as like the high points, I mean, there's only really one, is Ellie, and just taking the league by storm. I love your shirt. Taking the league by storm, and I'm just looking to build on that. We have a lot of good young up and coming talent coming back this year from injury, and that's what I'm really looking forward to this season as well.
Word. Shout out to Shakia Taylor for putting the link out for the shirt, man. It's CincyShirts.com.
Yes. Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah, 100%. And man, so who were the players that are coming up? Like they're making their way in the minors and stuff. Like players that people should keep tabs on for the future.
Just straight prospects, not the guys that are up right now.
We can talk guys up that are up right now, and then we can talk about the prospects after that.
Okay. Well, right now, the young guy, Matt McClain, he was hurt last year, but him and Ellie were going to be like the two. They're basically supposed to lead us into the future. Those are the two guys, and he'll be playing second base this year since they traded Jonathan India away to the Royals, like you said earlier. But those are Matt McClain is the guy you're really going to need to look forward to, because he's going to be a beast this year. As far as pitching goes, a guy, Rhett Lauder, he came up at the call-ups at the end of the year last year. He's going to be a really good pitcher for us. Let's see, we got a guy, Christian Encarnacion Strand. He's been up for a couple of years, but he was hurt as well last year. He plays first base and DHs. He can hit the ball a mile, so he's going to protect Ellie a little bit in the lineup, hopefully.
Okay.
That's really those guys. And then, like, as far as prospects, we have I know Cam Collier. Hopefully he can keep progressing and being better and better. I think he made it up to AA at the end of the year last year, but he's going to he's as long as he keeps advancing, he's going to be in the league in maybe the end of this year, beginning of next year. I'll be looking out for him.
Okay.
As far as another pitcher, a guy named Chase Burns. He might be a year or two away, but he was from Wake Forest. He played college at Wake Forest, and I got to see him pitch a few times in person, and he's the truth. He's really good. He shut out the Tar Heels a couple times last year, so he was the truth. He was the reason they beat him in the ACC tournament last year and all that. So,
Okay.
but he's going to be the man in a couple of years. I have a feeling.
Word. And man, speaking of Cincinnati, I had the pleasure of actually going there back in August for the first time. You know, I always wanted to see Ellie De La Cruz play in person, and I
Oh yeah,
got to do it, man. They played actually they played the Royals. I went there one Sunday, and man, I really love their ballpark, man. Great American. That's right there on the Ohio River. That is
oh
the
yeah,
Ohio River, right?
it is. Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. That
And
ballpark's a pretty cool little spot.
yeah, I mean, tickets was stupid cheap. I sat like I was in the left center field. I was like two rows up from the outfield ball. My ticket was like $21. I'm like,
Oh yeah,
bro. I was like, bro, I can't beat that. Then you got like two Skyline Chili stands. I was in heaven. They had like
yeah. That's
they had the one stand. It had like, I swear it had like 16 different flavor slush puppies. I was like,
oh yeah,
this is exactly where I need to be. And then like 3 innings later, like they just poured down rain. I was like, oh shit, here we go.
did they end up finishing that game? I
Yeah,
don't remember speaking to you about it.
they ended up finishing the game, but I had to catch a ride back to the airport to so
Uh,
I wouldn't miss my flight. But like if I stayed until the game ended, I would have missed my flight. But yeah, I'm
oh yeah,
definitely putting that back on the cards again for next season because Cincinnati is such a dope city. It really is, and there's
oh
so much
yeah.
to do.
Yeah. I sent you a couple spots to hit up, and that marketplace is amazing.
Finley
Finley Market,
Market,
I think, is the name of
yes,
it. Yeah, and that place, yeah, it's a real low key city. It's like there's cool stuff to do there, but you got to look for it for sure. But
yeah.
there's some nice little spots to hit.
Yeah, and I hit up Finley Market like you said, and there was a guy out on the outside of the booth who was he does like personal sketches. His name was Kevin Harris. It's K
Mm,
Harris Art on IG, and I bought a Larry David portrait piece that he sketched out from him. And
oh,
he's I was super impressed with his art. But yeah, it really was just like sensory overload in the best way possible. Walking through Finley Market, seeing all this like selling local meats and local produce and like coffee
oh
shops and
yeah,
stuff, man. And then that Belgian place that you recommended, yeah, A1,
oh
A1.
yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah, that place is really good with all kinds of pastries and all kinds of stuff like that. The waffle spot.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then shout out to the art museum too. I got an Uber and hopped across town and went there. And I was super impressed with the art museum. Number one is the parking is free. Number two, admission is free as well. So if you're ever in Cincinnati, hit up the Cincinnati Art Museum. I cannot recommend it anymore.
I actually didn't go to that when I was up there. I've only been to Cincinnati a couple of times. I haven't been to that. I'll have to make sure to go over there next time I'm there.
Yeah. And looking at your hat, Carolina Mudcats. So
Yes, sir.
yeah, there's what's the name of the stadium that this they're I think it was this the last year for, is it like Five County Stadium?
Exactly. Five County Stadium in Zebulon, North Carolina. Yep.
Yeah, and
Yes,
they're
go ahead.
building a new ballpark, right?
They're actually moving. They're not going to be there. They're not going to be the Mudcats anymore. They're actually moving to Wilson, North Carolina, I think.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah, this is the last season of Mudcats baseball, unless another team was to move a minor league team here. But
Okay.
yeah, the Mudcats will be no more after this season, which is sad. So I'm gonna have
Wow.
to get out there and I'm gonna have to get out there and see them. This is like my one of my favorite logos in all of sports. So
Yeah, man. How far is that from you? Zebulon.
it's about an hour and 15 from my house.
Okay.
It's
Man, I didn't know that.
it's
Go ahead.
it's a how quick it's a little skip and a jump, but it's not too bad of a drive. So
Okay. So actually, I don't know if I asked you this the first time you were on. What was the first Reds game you ever attended?
it was actually in Atlanta. Are you talking about in Cincinnati or my first Reds period?
You know, either or. It doesn't matter.
My first Reds period was in Atlanta. It was in let's see, I was in college, so it was 2004-ish, and the Reds were terrible. Obviously, I don't even remember most of the players on the team. They still had Griffey though, so that's why we went.
Okay.
And he did hit a little double up in the gap, and then he just went. He didn't do anything else after that. But we got to sit. So we basically it was an old turf field, and we basically got standing room only tickets for like $7, and there was like no one there because it was like a Tuesday afternoon game.
Mm-hmm.
So we went down and sat down by third base, like a couple rows up from third base, and I got to heckle Chipper Jones because he's one of my least favorite players of all time. So I got to heckle him.
No
And so
shit.
that was yeah, that was pretty fun.
Yeah. So what's the basis behind him?
It's just the Braves thing. I just don't like the Braves at all.
I
So
got you.
it's just, and he's like was the face of it for a while. So
Understood. Man,
he
I,
actually
I
played
did
for the
not know
Durham
that.
Bulls when yeah, he actually played for the Durham Bulls when they were in Double A, like way back in the day, because the Bulls were the Braves Double A affiliate back then. But that's interesting
I didn't
factoid.
know that.
But yeah, yeah.
Wow. I'm
But yeah,
learning some things
I'm just the
today.
Braves hater.
You know what? That might be the name of the episode right there.
I think it. But yeah, in Cincinnati, it was actually a couple years ago. I went up and I saw actually the game was going to get rained out, and then it started at like 10:30 local time. It didn't end until after midnight, like 1 o'clock in the morning. And
Damn.
a guy hit a again. I can't remember the guy's name. He was like a minor league guy that only was up for a couple days, and he hit a little double to score the game winning run in the bottom of the ninth. And it was like me and like 30 other Reds fans out there because it was so late.
Man, that's
It was a
dope.
fun
So
time though.
so what's the best baseball game that you've ever experienced?
I went to an ACC tournament game between UNC and NC State where they went. I think it was 11 innings, and it was a one nothing game through 11 innings. So it was nothing nothing all the way through pitchers duel, and then UNC got a little walk off win in the 11th, and that was a maybe 6, 7, 8 years ago. I'm not exactly sure what the year, but it was about that. It was before the pandemic and things like that. It was a while ago at the DBAP where the Durham Bulls play.
Okay, man, I love that ballpark. God, I got to get back there this
Oh
year
yeah,
too.
yeah.
And
And
so, go
UNC
ahead.
UNC versus NC State. Like I know UNC versus Duke is the basketball rivalry, but in everything else, UNC and NC State are like it's a thing. So it was a rowdy atmosphere. That's what made it probably better than anything.
Word, man, a pitcher's duel, man. You gotta love it. All right, so now then, gonna get to the next segment. I'm actually going to do the 5 question segment a little bit different since I did the 5 question segment with you on your previous appearance. I'm going to switch things up a little bit. So these 5 questions are going to be baseball trivia, but fret not, they're all multiple choice. So, question
Okay,
number
cool.
one.
I was worried.
Well, actually, this one is going to be true or false. Tony La Russa once stated that Albert Pujols was the best player he ever managed. True or false?
I'll say true.
And you would be correct. Said, in fact, La Russa praised Pujols several times during his career, saying, quote, if he's healthy, there will be no better hitter, and quote, I've never seen anyone quite like him.
Hmm. He was
All
a
right.
monster for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
A
So,
Reds killer all day long.
and question number two, this one will be multiple choice. Going back to your hated Braves. Which announcer provided play-by-play for the Atlanta Braves for 33 years? A. Skip Carey, B. Russ Hodges, C. Milo Hamilton, D. Bob Prince.
Well, I have no idea. Um, I'll go with A. That's, I really don't know. I have no clue.
Bro, you were 2 for 2.
Oh, that was the only name I kind of recognized. I couldn't place him.
Skip Carey was the son of legendary announcer Harry Carey, but
There.
began announcing for the Braves in 1976.
Oh wow.
Sadly, he passed away in 2008, just 3 days after calling his last game.
Oh wow.
All right. This one here is going to be a kind of a tough one. Next question. Who broke the race barrier and became the first African American umpire in Major League Baseball? Is it A, Emmett Ashford, B, Joe West, C, Ernie Quigley, or D, Bill Summers?
Oh, wow. Well, I know it's not Joe West.
Definitely not Joe West.
Definitely not Joe West. What was the first name you said? A?
Yeah, Emmett Ashford.
Emmett Ashford. I'm gonna go with A again. I'm not positive.
You were 3 for 3. Boom. So it wasn't until 1966 that Ashford became an umpire with the American League. He worked until 1970, umpiring all 5 games of the 1970 World Series.
Oh, wow.
Man,
That's good trivia. That's good trivia right there.
Yeah, man, you good at this stuff, man.
I can deduce. I can get some multiple choice now.
Hey, man, you 100% from the field. Fourth question. This one is also multiple choice in regarding umpires. Who was the first woman to work as an umpire in professional baseball? Is it A, Bernice Guerra, B, Pam Postima, C, Amanda Clement, D, Rhea Cortezio?
Man, you pulling out some questions. I have no idea. For this one, I'm gonna say D.
It's actually this first one you got wrong. It's A, Bernice Guerra. She graduated from the Florida Baseball School in 1967. She was initially denied a position by the National Association of Baseball Leagues, who claimed she lacked the physical requirements for the job. But Guerra took the NABL to court, eventually winning the right to work with the New York Penn League. She umpired her first professional game in 1972.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, I had no idea about that one.
I didn't either. I was familiar with Pam Postima, which was answer B, because I remember she was on the cover. She made the cover of Sports Illustrated when I was a kid. And actually, you know what? I'm gonna keep it in the umpire wheelhouse. So, last question. In what year did Major League Baseball begin using instant replay for umpires to review disputed plays? Is it A, 2005, B, 2006, C, 2007, or D, 2008?
You came out with some good ones that I was not prepared for. Let's go with 2008. D.
You got that one right, bro. Listen, man. You 4 for 5, bro. That's for the first time doing the 5-question segment. You knocked it out the park. No pun intended.
Yeah, Hall of Famer on that one, huh?
Yeah. Major League Baseball was late to adopt the technology, as it had already been used for use in football, basketball, and hockey. When it was first introduced to Major League Baseball, it was only used to uphold or overturn home run calls. But the rules and regulations governing its use had been tweaked several times since its implementation. Man, 4 for 5, man. Take a bow.
Appreciate it.
That's damn near a unanimous. That's damn near a unanimous vote for the Hall of Fame for the 5 questions, man. So, man, anything? Yeah. So, anything you want to plug or promote, or just tell the people where they can find you?
I'm actually nothing to plug or promote or anything. I'm off Twitter, so I'm really just on Instagram these days, and it's JBraze23, and you can just find me there. That's where I'll be.
Word, and I'll have his in the show notes. So, man, thank you so much, man. It was great chopping it up with you again on At the Plate.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you having me. I look forward to it next time. Have a good baseball season.
Yes, sir, man. So thank y'all for listening. Make sure you like, download, and subscribe to At the Plate with Danny Foxworth. Tell a friend to tell a friend about the podcast. Baseball season's back in full swing, no pun intended. And, got to get this show back on the road. So, again, thank y'all. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is also at Danny Foxworth 843. On there, you can find the videos for every episode of this podcast, as well as my other podcast, Since We Last Spoke with Danny Foxworth, my Candle podcast, A Wicked Good Time with Danny Foxworth, and my other podcast, Growing Up Low Country with Liz and Danny. And for Josh and myself, this has been another episode of At the Plate with Danny Foxworth. And until next time, y'all be good. 3 strikes.
Peace.